Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful time zone, wherever it may be. Hi! Uh, I, we're gonna be hanging out with Lynette today. uh, I, my brain is on a Genshin kick right now, again. Wow, go figure. Uh, I think it's because of Natlin. I am so, I, you all know, my I've been hyped for Natland since it was teased, or since I saw the original trailer for Genshin, where it like shows all like the different characters. I think it showed I can't remember who it showed for what is it? I can't remember who it showed for Liyue and Mondstadt. Uh I know that it showed I can't remember who it showed for Inazuma, but I remember that it showed Sino, Linny and Lynette. And it showed someone else as well from Natland, and I saw that I was like, yo, they look sick. They look so badass. I can't wait for this shit. And then I waited for years. So now that it's actually coming out, I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped. But we have so much content that we have to get through before Natland. I'm so excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for Natland. Uh, yeah. I'm just gonna jump straight in. Actually, I should probably turn off the music if we're going to do quests right away. So I don't want to have that playing in the background before we do anything. Uh, all right. I'm talking about in-game music, not out-of-game music. Anyways, uh, let's get into it. Come on, transition. It's like it waits for me to say it. Every time, it waits for me to say it. I don't know why, but it does. Uh, who isn't excited for that? I know, right? It's got the dragons, and it's got the long neck. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Sorry, Sayu. I'm so hyped for it. Like I'm just a little excited. Am I a little disappointed by the skin diversity for character stuff? Yeah, a little bit. But you know what? But you know what? That's fine. Because they showed in trailer that they're obviously going to be doing like they're going to be adding more stuff to it. So, they showed some different skin colored at least NPCs uh in the trailer, so I feel like I'm a little bit more forgiving on that. But dragons, 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 fucking dragons, dragon bees. Sorry, I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not sorry for all the teas nuts like jokes I made. You guys are here. Where am I going? What is happening? Oh, I'm going this way. I forgot what this quest was. Come on, come on. All right, come on, come on. I'm so. Come on. Ow! My feelings! Oh, I'm gonna just make it. I'm gonna just make it. Yeah. Okay, we just made it. Uh, Perfect. That's the next one I wanted to go to. Uh, I have picked like the worst earbuds. I decided to wear earbuds today. I normally wear headphones, but I decided to wear earbuds today just because I'm like, I don't want the headphones. I just realized you guys can't hear game audio. Whoops. But I'm wearing earbuds and they're like vibrating with my voice every once in a while, and it's like messing with me. Like, what are you doing? Stop it. Why did I choose over here? I'm like the farthest away from it. Why did I do that? Because it was all the way zoomed out and I thought it was the closest. I'm smart. I'm the smartest person on the stream. Yep. That doesn't... That doesn't mean much, but it's true. Ooh, bandits. Kapow.
Another test subject.
Another test subject.
Let the show
Let the show begin.
Wasn't done.
I do have to say, I'm kind of excited for the higher world stuff. For the higher world levels. Does that mean we're also getting level 100 characters as well? Like, is that going to be a thing as well? Or are we being capped out at 90 still? I'm not sure about that. That was like the one thing I wasn't sure about when it came to like when it came to everything. Like, what are we doing? What's going on there?
I'll protect us.
Okay, this song is too depressing. This song is also too depressing. There we go. This is a good song.
Replace my hammer.
Give me all the materials. Give me all. I love this song. This is such a good song. I know the person it's about, or at least the person it's about. Because for those who don't know, this is actually a DSMP fan song. A Dream SMP fan song. It's about Wilbur. Or character Wilbur, I guess.
Make my escape.
It's probably one of my favorite songs, though. It's so good.
Right.
Hi. Bye. One small step for hilly trolls. One big leap for hilly troll kind.
Nice and spicy. Let's dance.
Woo! You think hilly trolls will ever go to space? You think hilly trolls could ever go to space? Like, could they ever develop like spacecraft? Well, I guess considering lore, they could technically, if they were somehow able to revert back to their people form, I guess, to the Kandrian form. But like,
Go. I'll protect us.
I feel like maybe I could see I want a hilly troll to go to space. Can we get a hilly troll to go to space? Can that be our next collab? We got a collab with Duolingo. Can we get a NASA collab with Genshin? A Genshin NASA collab. Holy shit. They sent the hilly troll up to space. How crazy would that? That would be insane.
Wheel of life.
Now I want that to happen. I'm also hilly troll in space. Now my brain's just thinking about hilly trolls in space and how epic that would be. Just looking, there's a hilly troll in space. Like, damn, that'd be so cool. You get a hilly troll in space. That'd be sick. What kind of hilly troll do you think it would be? Do you think they just go with the regular hilly troll because that's the most recognizable? That'd be boring though. Come on, let me up. Hello? Boar? What's wrong? Investigating a ruin, suddenly monsters panic, ran. Drop relic. Go uncover it for me. Yada yada yada. Get me my shit back. Okay, where am I? Okay, where am I going? Oh, I'm going up there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm out of stamina. It might be a problem. There's a gato beside me. Hello? What you doing, Pudgy? She's eating. She's eating food. She looked at me like, how dare you interrupt my meal? What the fuck? can't wait for the Okay, my brain is just thinking about Natland again. I can't remember her name. I can't remember, but it was the poster character for Natland when the trailer first came out, of all the different regions and whatnot. I remember people thinking that she was going to be Pyro. Or people were thinking that they were going to be Pyro. I'm so excited that they're actually Electro. Mostly because now there's an Electro character where I don't have to where there's an Electro chibi that is not Dory. And thank fuck. Cause I don't like Dory. Let's keep looking. We'll keep looking for the relic. Oh. What?
Hey! Nice and spicy. What the no?
Retrieve a lost item from... Oh, okay. That was easy. Why? Huh? Okay? Okie dokie, I guess. Alright, I'll take that. I need a friend. I need a friend to do that puzzle. I need to build so many characters. There's so many things I need to do in this game to actually make, like, things a success, or how things, or make my life easier. Yes, I got the relic. Wow, that's a relic. That's a relic, alright. Oh boy. Not just talking about your mother. I'm not sorry for all the jokes. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry for all the jokes. Got them killing vibes, killing vibes. My brain keeps thinking, anime. And now I'm thinking about One Piece. I recently got into One Piece. I say more recently because I just got back into it after like a month-long break because I was moving. Bro, I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm excited for the new shit. I'm currently in the Sky Pia arc. For those who know, I'm getting close to the end of it. Fucking hate this thunder guy. Fucking hate this lightning guy. Fucking hate him. But I have to say, he does make a good match for Luffy, though. It makes it a lot more interesting and fun. That's for sure. Okay. So, I'm gonna get the Battle Pass shit. I'm killing vibes. Vibes, killing vibes. Taking lives. Alright. And I'm gonna pause the music. Thank you, Monarch. Your music is beautiful. Cannot get enough of it, girl. Slay Queen. Like tablet. Everything's fine. We'll turn the music up in game. We'll go here. We'll go in here. We'll hang out with Lynette.
Surely I should be doing
They put, like, Act 1, like, they're going to have hangouts with the same character multiple times. Which is interesting. And I definitely think it'd be interesting, especially if they added a part 2 to Sayu's hangout. I would love that. I would very, very much love that. Hoyoverse, please. Please, please, please. Hangout quest with that Sayu. Please. Please, 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 please. I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of Sayu as of late. Like not a lot of events where Sayu's part of them, which is a little sad. But I get it. It doesn't really fit her character to get out and about and whatnot. Makes more sense for her to be like sleeping or something, but I want an event with Sayu. I want Sayu to come into an event or something. I feel like that would be fun. I feel like that would be nice. Anyways, hi Lynette. Is that Lynette? With the little kitty?
Meow.
What are you up to?
Oh, it's you. 1 second. Now activating chat mode. You made me jump there. I thought they'd finally caught me.
Now activating chat mode. What's up, chat? How are you all doing today? Just like, you just see like random like messages like start to appear beside her and they start flying faster and faster. Well, that's actually a very famous Twitch streamer. Made you jump? I barely noticed. Is someone out to kidnap you?
Objectively speaking, the trouble was entirely of my own making.
Oh?
Half an hour ago, I was at Hotel de Boer for a drinks reception. It was to celebrate the successful opening of a show.
Oh.
But it was draining my energy.
Oh, that's fair.
So, I waited for the right moment, then snuck away so I could switch to standby mode.
You know what? Fair enough. I see. So they sent someone to find you and bring you back. But why?
Probably because I'm playing the lead role in the show.
The lead role?
Is
Good
that
for
so
you,
surprising?
girl! Hell
I'm
yeah!
always getting invitations to do solo performances. I just usually get Linny to write back and turn them down. But then came the Fontanalia Film Festival.
Aww.
We took all the kids from the House of
Gotta
the
love
Hearth
the
out
film
to see a
festivals.
film.
I need to go do more
And
film
after
festivals.
it finished, they all started clamoring for me to try out acting for some reason. Even Linny was chanting along with them. Anyway,
I can see her being a
it
good
just
actor.
so happened that a director called Mary who had sent me an invitation right around then. I'll spare you the details, but basically, I ended up accepting it.
Good. Honestly, good for you, girl. I think this would be good for you. So, is this the debut of the Magician's Puppet? Of the Magician's Puppet, huh?
Yep, you nailed it. I'm playing the role of a puppet. In fact, the show's
Yeah, she would
called
actually.
The Lost
I can see
Puppet,
that. She would fit
and
that
it's a
very well.
masked mime show. So, I don't have to do any facial expressions or say any
Hi.
lines.
Hi, Paige.
Literally
up?
just a series of physical
What's up, Cookie
movements. The director says
Did you
it's a
sense
very
another cat?
avant-garde art form.
For fellow rats who might be listening, I'm waiting for Icy. I can I'm waiting for Icy to see my message in the rats community. And I'm waiting for either a chat message or a DM being like, Panda? What the fuck? Come here, Butch. Come here. Yes, I know, but you have to. You're in the way. I'm anticipating a message being like that. But yeah, I can't wait. Okay, so the director says it's a very anti-garden art form. Anti. Avante grande. I can read. I promise. I promise I can read. That does sound pretty. But can people understand the plot?
Art is not comprehended by the mind, but felt in the heart. At least, that's what the director says. Anyway, if nothing else, the opening
I
performance
feel like it
seemed
should
to
be a
go down
mixture of
well.
both, but that might
At
just
the
be
drinks
me.
reception, everyone was crowding around me, saying, "Triumphant character portrayal, faithful adaptation of the original work, unequivocally, quintessentially avant-garde,"
Avant-garde.
and
Okay.
stuff like that. But being the center of attention is draining.
Aww.
So the moment they left me to go harass the director instead, I was out of there.
You know what? Fair enough. For once, you weren't able to use Lenny as a human shield.
The other thing is, some weird things happened while I was on the stage.
Oh. Kato! Hello, Kato. You look like Coder.
Sorry, Bonnie. I didn't mean to leave you out of the conversation.
Bonnie!
My bad.
I take it Bonnie's your pet cat?
No, we just met. We bumped into each other right after I slipped away.
And you've already named her?
Well, it'd be kind of difficult for us to communicate otherwise. Besides, I think she's taken a liking to the name. Haven't you,
Oh,
Bonnie?
Bonnie. Oh, pet. All the pets for Bonnie.
Yeah, that's right. Good kitty. We'll go find your owner soon, I promise.
Owner? Not a stray cat then? Well, I'm guessing not if she has an owner.
Nope. She's wearing a collar, and for the most part, she's pretty well groomed. If she is a stray, she hasn't been for long.
Mm-hmm.
Her stomach's been growling a lot. I guess she must have been missing for a few days now.
Are we
As
gonna...
much as I'd
Is
love
this a
to hang
cat
out with her
return
for a while
mission?
longer, her owner's probably worried sick about her.
Are we returning a gato?
Assuming she has an owner, that is. But the reception... I should probably show my face there again at some point.
Why don't we go return
Even
the
if
cat?
it's just to make excuses and leave again. Decision time.
Is this a tough decision for you?
Well, I just find it exhausting. Thinking through all the different ramifications of different choices and so on. That's more Lenny's area than mine. So, unless it's something really important, I usually just leave the decision making to him.
Honestly, fair enough. With how bad my ADHD can get sometimes, I find decision making to be really debilitating sometimes. I think that's the right word, right? Like, I don't know. I can't make decisions. It like freezes my brain and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Oh, bye, Pudge. She left me. Oh. But yeah, I completely understand where Lynette's coming from. But for once, he's not here when you need... But for once, he's not here when you need him. But that doesn't happen often.
It's fine. He got Fremine to make me a little something for just this situation.
Oh?
Poof! A phaetometer.
Phaetometer? What's this?
It looks pretty over the top, I know. But it's essentially just a box of cards. He kept the design simple, so it'd be harder to break. The way it works is, I pick a card at random, then look at the number on the card.
And how does that help you make a decision?
Well, for example, if the number on the card is 5 or higher, I help Bonnie find her owner. If it's less than 5, I go back to the reception.
Simple and straightforward.
I just have to believe in the bond between me and my cards.
Believe
and my
in the
fate
bond.
will reveal itself to me in numerical form. At least, that's what Lenny said. Anyway, I guess I'll give you a demonstration.
She's got to put her heart. Her heart has to be in the cards, chat. She has to put her heart in the cards. To believe in the heart of the cards, chat. Pet. Lenny attempts to draw a card. The device immediately
I
horrendously...
didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just...
Lynette smacks the card box and all the cards fall out. Oh no!
Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know.
I feel like maybe this wasn't a design issue.
Let's see, which card did I get? 4.
Less than 4, so that means no helping Bonnie.
Well, the cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate. If you want to get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. Also something Lenny said.
I mean,
So, to put it
I guess
another
that's
way,
fair.
if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer.
I think what Lenny really meant is sometimes you have to accept the answer you didn't want.
Or why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means our fates are like interfering with each
She
other.
really doesn't want to go back. Girl, we don't have to go back. We don't have to go back. We could just go take Bonnie back to her owner. We don't have to go back. Alright, I'll pick another card for you.
Thank you. This one is final, I promise. Here, take the Fateometer. If it's 5 or above, that means fate successfully changed. Anything lower than 5 is a fail.
Okie dokie.
Also, if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
Aww. I think you should head back to the reception. I think you should help Bonnie. I think you should help Bonnie.
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner?
Yeah. Like, I'd want to try the card thing, but I feel like at the end of the day, if she really doesn't want to, I don't want to leave it to, like, quote-unquote fate. Like, let's just take Bonnie back. Let's just find Bonnie's owner. So, how do you plan on find Bonnie's owner?
I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper. You wanna come along? I think Bonnie wants you to come with.
Yeah, Bonnie wants me to come with? Sure. If it means I get to hang out with you for a bit longer. Pet the gato. Pet pet. Gato. I got an item. Fatal beater. I want to see what this does, actually. What are you doing? Interesting, okay. Cannot deploy here. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait because ads are about to start here pretty soon. I want to see how this works. Place. 19. A 1. Oof. 9. I can't tell what that is. But I like this thing. I like it. I like this thing. This is fun. 15. Nice. 7. I'm guessing that's a 7. Oh, there's our ads. There's 8. There's another 7. 7 seems to be a big number. There's 9. 18. How many numbers did they put this? Did they put like random from 1 to 20 or something like that? There's 13. Or did they do 50? Like they went up to like 50 because that's a whole deck of cards. I think that's a 2. That looks like a 2. Now that's an 11. Okay. Now can we put this back? Okay, so we can just place it wherever. Like, we could literally just take it out and place it wherever. Okay, I like that. That's fun. If I... That shadow is not lined up, my friend. I don't think that shadow's lined up. Oh no, that shadow's lined up. Never mind, don't mind me, I'm dumb. That is a lined up shadow. Okay, ad's got 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Jesus Christ, that's a long ad. God damn, I'd be so sorry for the ad viewers. God damn, 20 minutes worth of ads? Shit. I love misspeaking sometimes. Yeah. Hello, hello, welcome back, ad viewers. We're going to the Steambird.
Every stupendous day starts with a steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. What can I help you with?
We want to ask about the latest Tales of Humanity column. Any commissions in there about a missing cat?
I don't think so. Have you picked up a stray?
Yeah, we have.
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Well, we've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you.
Aww. Pat, pat. Good kitty.
Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long.
Aww.
Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now. If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie. There's a nice cup of tea in it for you.
Ooh, I could go for some tea right now. I was debating on making tea before stream, but I ran out of time. Looking for. I'll be there.
Alright.
I'll be
See
there,
you
girl.
then.
Don't worry. I will be there. Right. Gotta go till 7 tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow at 7. 7. Perfect. I don't know where Linny and Net live, so we're gonna go find out where they live. Do we know where they live? Do we know where they live? Mute Lynette. Oh, they live here. Uh-oh. Humane Society. Uh-oh.
I believe this cat belongs to me.
Hi.
I already told you, this isn't your cat.
Just take a breather, you two.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Oh, you're here. As you can probably see, you'll have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you.
Oh.
At least for now.
Okay.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
Passive check. Passive checks are a special type of checks that need not to be actively triggered, but instead there should be a comma there. Why is that a period? But instead will automatically be triggered but at a specific time. If you pass, you will find some hidden information and irregularities in a person's attitude or certain. Okay. Psych check lady's expression is a bit unnatural. The way she speaks is loud and authoritative. It's like she's deliberately using her tone of voice to dispel any doubts about her integrity. Also, before she mentioned that she owned the cat, and now she's claiming it for a friend? Interesting.
No, it's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society.
You are hesitant. How about we let Bonnie decide?
Bonnie?
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
Animal handling. This feels like a D&D thing. Let's see who Bonnie decides to approach. The random checks triggered by the photometer often have indicators for destiny course. This is just D&D. Press to draw a card and get a random number between 1 and 20. They just replaced a D20 with cards. If the number displayed is greater or equal to the difficulty, this is just D&D. This is a skill check in D&D. There's even a skill called animal handling. This is just D&D. Perfect. Adequate preparation and friendly aid can also... This is just D&D. This is just D&D. 8. Let's go. I'm feeling this one. Fuck. I'm guessing she can't decide then. Bonnie instantly runs and hides behind the
Well, this complicates things.
Aww. I didn't think she'd be so attached to you.
I told you before. This is my friend's cat. It's normal for her not to trust me.
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it.
Okay,
I'm
but
not
she's
even the
not a
one
stray. She
feeding
clearly
them
has
most
an
of the
owner.
time. You can hardly expect the cat to recognize me.
Then how are you so sure she belongs to you?
She just looked somewhat familiar, so I came to check, just in case.
I don't
If
believe
she
him and I
turns
don't
out to be
believe
one
her.
of ours, I'll take her back. Simple as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane Society could still take her in, if no one else comes to claim her, that is.
Somebody else is literally back here to... Okay, whatever. What's the Humane... Why am I asking what the Humane Society is? What's the Humane Society?
We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
Hey, Bernard.
The Humane Society. Huh. The name sounds familiar. I remember hearing good things. You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
Yes, that's the one.
I don't even know
Anyway,
what that is, but
if
okay.
it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat? If it turns out I really am mistaken, I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
Okay.
It belongs to my friend.
Thus here to keep watch. It should be fine.
Go on, Bonnie.
Pat, pat. What?
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken. They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends. Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
Damn. So, this is your friend's cat? So is this your...
Oh, yes, exactly.
What?
Wait a second. You lied earlier, didn't you?
Yes, she did.
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
A liar always has a tell. The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern, the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
What?
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. But your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time.
Interesting.
It stands to reason, then, that your agitated behavior earlier was all an act. If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
There you go.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right.
What?
I'm a member of the Guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here... Bonnie was her name?
Yes.
Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation.
I'm sorry, I do not believe a second of this.
A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most
Aw.
likely how he got separated from the cat. I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird. So, I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But, it looks like I overestimated him.
If I were on the run, I don't think I'd come back either.
The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations.
Oh shit.
If there was even the slightest
Surprised
chance
there are
that
any
he would show
helicopters in the
himself,
sky. Well,
I had
there's
to
probably
follow
the
up on the
equivalent
lead.
of that, though. So what's being smuggled?
A new kind of illegal drug, imitation synth.
I was about to say
confiscated
shimmer. I
all
don't
the
know
synth
why
on the
I
market,
thought
but
shimmer.
addiction isn't something that goes away overnight. Even without substances on the market, people are
Is
still
shimmer
looking for a
even
way to get their next
drug?
fix.
I feel like that
And
does sound
criminals
familiar, though.
Are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, a small-scale market opened up very quickly.
I mean, I'm
After
not
the original
surprised.
synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. That's when the imitation synth smuggling began. We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions.
Damn.
What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed. The Marechaussee
fair
Phantom
enough.
launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner.
Who is he exactly?
He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre. Pierre Lafayette, to be exact.
Have we seen this guy before? Have we heard of him before? This guy sounds familiar.
Lefebvre.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in Poisson.
Poisson?
In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him.
Interesting, okay. Oh. Interesting. It's a snake with a sword.
At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that.
Oh?
It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lafayette family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine.
Okay, and how does that link
Obviously,
him?
this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre. At that point, however, we discovered that he'd already fled. Now the guards and the Special Patrol are all searching for him.
Could his family be hiding him?
That's not possible, actually. The Lefebvre family has been gone for a long time.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the patriarch, were murdered by an assassin of
Oh,
unknown
shit.
origin. From that point on, family's power and influence took quite the hit.
Damn,
The family is
alright.
engaged in all manner of crimes. As you can imagine, there's no shortage of people waiting in the wings to take their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that.
Yeah,
Most of the remaining
okay.
family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity.
Damn.
Pierre is one of those very survivors. He's been hiding away in the Fontaine Research Institute all these years. His true identity unbeknownst to all. Until now, that is.
Huh. Okay. Is that really okay to share all this information with us?
Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice. There could be a
Okay.
chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout.
Okay. So we're gonna be making a perception check at some point.
If I take Bonnie back to the guards with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her. Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt something like that.
So why try to, like... Okay. So we should keep Bonnie with us for the time being?
I have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot.
I guess so. That makes
Well,
sense.
I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
Okie dokie. What's wrong? You don't look so good.
It's nothing.
Oh, Ned.
I'm fine. It's just the head of the Lefebvre family. He was the eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home.
I forgot this happened. Oh, Lynette! Oh, Lynette! Oh, girl. Oh. I forgot that's why I didn't like Traveler as well. I forgot about this.
But before anything worse could happen, Father intervened.
Then the assassin mentioned.
Yep. Father was the one who orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Lenny and I to join the House of the Hearth. After all these years. I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again.
Oh. I want to give her a hug. Are you okay? Can I give this girl a hug?
Don't worry about me.
She rightfully deserves
I wasn't
one.
feeling sorry
Just
for myself.
yeah.
I was just thinking about Lenny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting job.
Oh,
about
is
it
he trying
now.
to look into this as well?
It's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Fremine to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. He's really pulled out all the stops this time.
You think he knows about Pierre?
It's very possible.
I feel like
I'm
he
sure
does.
he
There's
tried
no
to
way
send
that he
me away
doesn't.
because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though. Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever. You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along
I
the way.
mean, he has a right to, though. The guy that he thought he trusted ended up, what is it? The guy he trusted the most, his mentor, ended up tricking him and giving his sister away. I'd be overprotective of my sisters if that happened. Just speaking from an older sibling stance, I completely understand where Linny is coming from. I'm guessing Linny is the older sibling. Along the way, are we going somewhere?
Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre.
Okay.
Just let me activate search mode and then we'll head out.
Are
Who
you trying?
knows? Maybe we'll run into Linny along the way.
Don't sound too excited about that. Are you trying to help Linny with his investigation, or are you trying to prove yourself?
A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Something isn't adding up about Pierre's story. I'm just not sure what.
I also want to know what secrets he's hiding. Sometimes, you've just got to take the bull by the horns, right? Exactly. Or the cat by the whiskers, I guess.
Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's
Cat by
done,
the claws?
we can head out.
Probably a better saying. And probably would be a lot more painful, but it would be a lot nicer on the cat. Well, where are you? Oh, hello, you two.
Lynette, you're, not at rehearsal?
You can drop the act, brother. In
Oh,
fact,
shit.
I don't think either of us will have a need for acting anytime soon. You should know better than to try and keep something from me. You've never been able to do that, even when we were kids.
Aw.
And that's why I tried to distract you with the masked mime show. But I guess you're just too good.
Care to introduce us to your new assistant?
This is Officer Shovras, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. You may have met her already.
Will we meet again?
Nice to see you.
What's up, girl? What's up?
I should clarify something. Mr. Linney's here at my invitation, not the other way around. To borrow your expression, Miss Lynette, I suppose that would make him my assistant more than anything. We've brought on Mr. Linney as a consultant in the past. He was
Oh.
instrumental in helping us crack a case involving a perpetrator who used magic tricks to commit crimes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I was hoping he'd be able to provide some valuable insight this time around as well.
Are you guys here because of the Lefebvre case?
Ah, so you've heard everything then?
Yep.
That's exactly why we're here. There's always been questions surrounding the fall of the Lefebvre family.
Lefebvre.
Some people even
Okay,
believe
that's
the
how you
House of the
pronounce
Hearth was involved. Whoever was behind it all was extremely cautious. They didn't leave
Oh.
a shred of evidence. This very fact, however, leads me to believe it was indeed the work of that harbinger. I took a look at the entrance and exit records of all the carriages that night. Let's just say it wasn't hard to deduce that there's ill will between you two. Don't worry, I don't have any evidence to that effect, and I certainly don't plan on going to bat for such a despicable family.
Fair enough.
Plus, you were victims back then more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I sought Mr. Linney's help with the smuggling case. Nothing more.
You're really teaming up with the House of the Hearth.
The way I look at it, it's a collaboration between us as people, not the organizations we represent. Besides, by working together, we can expose the truth as quickly as possible. You can hardly say that's at odds with the justice my organization strives for.
You know what? That's fair enough. Especially for these kind of people. That is very fair. I'm not talking about like the characters, I'm talking about the family. I'm assuming you wouldn't be opposed to some extra help?
Not at all. I was planning to invite you from the very beginning, Miss Lynette. It's just that my assistant here raised some objections.
Linny, I'm not the same person I was back then. That little girl who did nothing but cower in the corner in fear, she doesn't need saving anymore.
I know you want to protect your little sister. I was right, he is the older one. Okay. But little sisters don't stay little forever.
I'm sorry, Lynette. You're right. I let my concerns get the better of me.
Oh, and the next time you want to distract me, you should try a different approach.
You put a dessert in front of her. And a cat. There you go.
Who's this? You pick up a stray while I was gone?
It's a bit complicated. I'll explain later. Anyway,
Why not explain
her
now?
name's
She's
Bonnie.
literally as part of the case.
Well, if there are no objections, then I
Bonnie's
suppose
literally a
the
part of
only
the
thing left to
case.
say
And
is,
a big
Lynette,
reason for it as well.
Traveler, welcome to the team.
Yay! So Rose and Lenny share with
It
you.
appears the Lefebvre family was very particular in their use of insignias and emblems.
Okay.
The family would use different emblems to mark differences in status, blood relation, and the like.
Okay.
In fact, the insignia that was discovered on the pendant was used to represent an illegitimate child.
Oh shit! So, what you mean? Pierre is a bastard child? Oh shit!
It's highly likely. That very status might have been what allowed him to emerge from the fall of his family relatively unscathed. It would also explain why he was able to assume a new identity as a researcher with relative ease.
We discovered something interesting, though. After talking to some of his coworkers, it appears he pretty much works at the Institute in name only. He's practically been cast out.
Interesting. Wait, what happened?
Apparently, Pierre was once addicted to synth. He
Oh,
tried to use the
interesting.
resources at the Institute to create a substance with a similar effect. He claimed it was just for research purposes, but the Institute revoked his access to the relevant materials regardless. He was placed on disciplinary leave, pending a thorough investigation of his actions.
Interesting.
It seems the Institute ran into some trouble along the way. Could have been a lack of personnel or a timing issue. In any case, they had to table their formal investigation into Pierre. Unfortunately, that also included reporting any relevant information to the higher authorities. As for his family background, it appears none of his co-workers at the Institute were aware of that information. All they could tell us was that he was quite the recluse.
Maybe we'll take our investigation somewhere else then. Did you find anything useful at his residence?
Other than the pendant, we didn't find anything else of note at his residence in Poisson.
Poisson?
Based on the samples of imitation synth we've been able to analyze, it appears the substance leaves behind strong traces wherever it's produced or stored. Those traces might not be obvious to the casual observer, but they're not something our guard poodles would miss. Pierre's home, though, came up completely clean.
They use
We
poodles
didn't
as
find any
guards?
records indicating
As
possible
like sniff
involvement in
hounds or
oversized
whatnot?
transactions
Oh my
either.
god!
So, the Marechaussee Phantom didn't view him
I
as a
love that
major
they use
suspect at
poodles. They
first.
don't use like dogs with like really good scent. They
Maybe
use
he had a
poodles.
separate, dedicated area where he
Yeah.
made the imitation synth.
Well, his neighbors did say he was often gone for long stretches of time. You would think with him out and about so much, people would have spotted him around Poisson, but
Poisson?
residents said they barely ever saw him in town. If his reclusive nature was just a matter of keeping a low profile, I guess it would make sense for him to have a secret base to carry out his business.
After he disappeared, the guards conducted a thorough search of Poisson, but they didn't come across
Poisson?
any suspicious locations.
Poisson.
Poisson? What is it, Lenny?
You know Hotel
not
de
Lenny,
Boer,
Lynette.
where I first found Bonnie? To get there from Poisson, you have to
Poisson?
cross a stretch of ocean. It's not somewhere a cat could just wander off on its own.
Yeah.
A cat? You mean...
Yes, Bonnie is his. Hi, Bonnie. Pet, pet.
Bonnie is Pierre's cat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right! When the Marechaussee Phantom first tracked him down, I remember there being something about a cat in their report. So this is her?
From what we've learned about Pierre's habits, he doesn't seem like the type to venture out without a purpose. So what you're saying, Lynette, is that Bonnie couldn't have gone missing in Poisson.
Poisson?
If that's true, then...
She must have wandered off only after Pierre brought her to his secret base.
Exactly. Bonnie might even know where it is.
Bonnie,
Wait.
can you show us?
You think the cat can lead us there? But she's not trained like one of our guard poodles. How is she supposed to understand what we want her to do?
Okay, Charus, let me tell you something. She don't need to be cats don't really need to be trained to be led somewhere. She might be lost, however, cats have a weird sense of direction. Like, you have to make sure their kennels are covered when you take them out. Like, when you have to, like, when you're giving them away or something. Because the way that cats work is that they'll actually remember the roads and which direction you're going. Or which direction they came from, so they can go back. If they are watching. Like, you have to make sure that they cannot see it, like, outside a car window or something, or else they will remember how to get back. I know this, because this has happened. This has happened to us on multiple occasions with several different cats. This has unfortunately happened with us. Several different times. Fun fact about cats. Now do I wait? I think I'm good. I think I'm not gonna wait for ads. No, we'll wait for ads. Might as well wait for ads. It's only a minute and a half. I gotta love the ad viewers. And it's been an hour already, goddamn. If you've been here for the whole hour, thank you so much. That really does actually mean a lot. Yeah. Trying to think. My brain no thinking. Critical Role shit is happening. I'm excited for Critical Role shit. My brain's just thinking about Critical Role. I love that my brain is just so, like... My brain frustrates me sometimes. It's like, what the fuck? Now we're just doing Critical Role. Now I'm just thinking about Critical Role. That's all I'm thinking about now. To be fair, Critical Role just came... They just cameoed one of my favorite characters in one of the more recent episodes. I'm not gonna say who it is. But... Travis's face when he realized who the character was priceless, and I fucking love that character. I love that Matt actually included him as well. Wow, I'm being paged. Wow. being told about returning to classes. Okay. I'll check that later. Ba 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 ba. Anyways, welcome back, ad viewers. Thank you so much for the ads. I hope the ads were delicious. Yeah, we're gonna continue now. Lynette should give it a try.
Meow. Meow meow. Meow?
I don't know why I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. I meow back at my cats. They meow at me, but then I just meow back at them.
Near the coast, the beach, and beneath the cliffs. The place we're looking for is most likely north of the court of Fontaine.
Okay.
Well, I've certainly never taken a witness statement like this before.
Well, if it works out, maybe it's something worth getting used to.
Cats and humans are actually pretty alike. When it comes to communication, most of what we want to convey can be accomplished through body language alone. But humans tend to rely too much on speech to ever take advantage of that fact. Of course, body language has its limitations.
Of course.
You're
like
not going to be
anything
able
does.
to get across anything too complicated.
The important thing is that we now have a lead. Let's try and find a place that matches the clues Bonnie gave us.
Okay. Guess it's my time to go look. I am so far away. Over here. Actually, over here would make sense. It's right. Perfect spot for Fontaine. Oh. Right here. Petal. Pet pet.
Seems like Bonnie is trying to take us somewhere.
Oh, where are you taking us, Bonnie? Follow that gato. Hi. Where are you taking us? Where are we going? Oh, look at us.
Gardement's ahead.
Look out!
Hi there.
Gotta dash.
Oh, I didn't even get Chi-Chi's. Oh, I did get Chi-Chi's. Okay. Why was I attacking my little guy? Also, where did the cat go? Where did Bonnie go? Bonnie? Uh-oh. Did we lose Bonnie? I think we lost Bonnie, chat. Uh-oh.
Orders given.
Orders
received.
Bish, 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 bish. Why are there more? Why are there reinforcements? Fuck off, reinforcements.
Life goes on.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Let's dance.
Oh, I see Bonnie. Okay, Bonnie's okay. Bonnie's okay. Bonnie's okay. Bonnie's okay. Bonnie's okay at least. You can't hurt this chibi. He is under the protection of the panda.
About to pass out over here.
By the power of the panda, he is protected.
Nice and spicy. Let the
So is all chibis, except for Dory. Dory is one of the few that is not protected by the panda. I killed a crab. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, evolution. I've slain you. Alright. Alright, girl, let's go. Oh, this is it. I feel dumb now. I'm like, where's the cat going? Like,
Wow,
hello?
Lynette, you found this place so easily. If I thought there was any chance you'd say yes, I'd recruit you into the special patrol here and now. No questions asked.
Sounds familiar. I pretty much receive letters daily from people trying to poach her from me.
Let's just focus on our search. There's a lot to investigate.
Fair enough. Alright, 3 clues. Give me. Investigate.
The material these bags are made of, it's quite rare.
They look pretty, though. Doesn't it look similar to the magic pouch you use from material you use for magic pockets?
It's the very same, actually. Romaritime flower fiber.
Interesting.
But there's something special about the composition of these bags.
Oh?
I took a closer look, and it appears they're not only waterproof, but also corrosion and leak resistant.
Oh,
Even
interesting.
the strings
Okay.
look specially designed to keep the bags closed nice and tight. I came across some bags made of the same material just now, but they were much smaller and thinner.
Interesting.
From the look of them, they seemed far less durable as well.
So, kind of like one of those small bags? Those small sealed bags?
Very similar, actually.
Interesting. Okay.
Normally, it would be easy for a guard poodle to sniff out the imitation synth, but if it was sealed away in a bag like that,
They wouldn't
it
know.
might be possible to elude detection for some time. But what could these big bags be for then? If the goal is to keep the imitation synth hidden and sealed away, these bags seem a bit too conspicuous.
They're a bit bright in color. Hopefully stream is okay. The entire time I've been streaming, it's told me that it's unstable. How accurate that is, I have no clue. So, but it's been telling me that it's been unstable this entire time.
Just as
So
we
hopefully it's
thought.
actually
This
looks
is where
good.
the imitation synth was being made.
These bottles and jars are all imitated synth?
Looks like he's got more than just imitation synths stashed around here.
Interesting, okay.
In addition to the raw materials needed to synthesize the substance itself, there's a large quantity of cleaning agents and a few drugs I haven't been able to identify. These
Interesting.
cleaning agents are likely used to dispel traces of the substance, like its smell. The Special Patrol did some digging into imitation synth. Our records indicate that it's very difficult for ordinary people to detect traces left behind by the stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure that was the case for Pierre as well. It must have taken a considerable amount of time and skill to ensure all those traces get washed away. But what are these other drugs for?
Your mom.
When the Marechaussee Phantom searched Pierre's house,
It's just like
there was no sign of
these
these
drugs for your
barrels,
mom
right?
and walks away. He must have moved them. But carrying them all the way out here would attract way too much attention.
You're right. That doesn't seem like his way of doing things.
Hmm.
How did he get them here then?
Examine the barrel. The barrel shows signs of water damage. Dried up water stains can be seen around the circumference of the barrel. There seems to be a pattern to the location of the water stains. For some reason, they appear to be limited to the lower half of the barrels. The lids don't seem very tight, leaving sizable gaps around the edges. But there doesn't appear to be any traces of water inside the barrels.
Only the lower halves of the barrels appear to have been submerged in water.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. All that's
Based on the
really
various
weird.
ingredients we've found, this appears to be where Pierre was cooking up his imitation synth. It looks like he used a special cleaning agent to get rid of any residual traces of the substance on his person before he left.
Interesting.
That's how he was able to get past the guard poodles.
I love these poodles. Call them the guard of poodles. The guard squad of poodles. Poodle squad. Poodle patrol? It's just Paw Patrol, but it's all the guard poodles from Fontaine. That's why Marcy found. I can't pronounce that. Phantom. That's why the Phantom didn't find anything suspicious in his
So
home.
then he transferred the imitation synth
He
into
took
small
it all
sealed
out.
bags and took it somewhere
That's
else for the
super
drop-off.
No. I don't believe our suspect is the kind of person who'd go around carrying incriminating evidence with him.
Yeah,
That would potentially create too many eyewitnesses.
Mm-hmm.
The cleaning agent and the sealed bags might get past the guard poodles, But if a member of the public or even a guard on patrol happened to see him during the drop-off,
Mm-hmm.
a quick
That
search would
be
reveal everything. That's still a very risky operation.
very much so, actually. What about if the drop-off happened at the sea? There'd be no one around to see him.
The barrels we found were wet around the base, but the top half was dry. As if they'd been standing upright in the water.
Yes, but this wouldn't sink. I don't think so, at least.
If you put a barrel in the water, it will normally float on its side. Unless it's heavily loaded, in which case it'll sink.
So he must use... he must have used something to tightly seal the bags full of air, turning them to airtight flotation device.
Yes. With flotation rings around the body of the barrels, they'd stay upright in the water. And then he could afford to load them more fully.
He made them a buoy.
You think he used floating barrels? I suppose if he acted at night, when there are very few other boats around and visibility is low, it's a valid theory. We can't rule it out.
But then,
All right.
wouldn't the barrels be carried off by the waves or the currents? How would the person doing the pickup know where to look?
Barrels that could float away could get lost at sea. Sounds difficult to keep in one place. Kind of like certain pets. Pet. No offense.
Traveler, can you come take a dip in the sea with me?
Sure.
I have a feeling that somewhere down there, we might find some rope.
Ooh, and that's what kept
If a
the
rope can be
barrels
used to keep
from
a pet
floating
from running
away.
away, then why not a
Interesting,
barrel?
okay. Into the sea we go! Under the sea, banana. Under the sea, banana. I love that it's like too shallow. Can't like okay, and then I dive and immediately bonk my head anyways. Ooh. Hello.
This isn't the place.
Is it over here?
This isn't the place.
This isn't the place.
The wreckage of a small boat?
That would make sense. Wait, where else am I supposed to look? Oh. Perception check. See. Wow, I rolled high on perception, chat.
Got it. Time to go up and report.
Wow. I rolled high on perception. Look at me go, chat. I'm playing D&D in my Genshin. Who would have guessed that I'd be playing D&D in my Genshin? Where am I going? I'm going this way. Meow. Rolling around it. I'm going places.
As expected,
Going
we found a few
past
pieces
them.
of rope and some anchoring stones underwater. If you attach them to a floating barrel, it would look like this.
Yeah, there you go. So people would know where to look for them.
With this anchoring system, it would be possible to use floating barrels for the drop-off.
Mm-hmm.
You would just need to drop them in the water at the agreed-upon location. We also came across the wreckage of a small boat. It must have been left out on the water and capsized due to the force of the wind and waves. Its small size, however, would have made it perfect for staying undetected.
Let's talk this through.
Interesting, okay.
Based on the evidence we've collected, it seems like Pierre would row a small boat out to the agreed-upon transfer point, drop off the barrels, leave, and then row back and retrieve them after the transfer was complete.
That would make sense. Why use such why use such a convoluted drop-off method though? Wouldn't it be easier for both parties to meet up at the transfer point on their respective vessels and exchange the goods right then and there? No, because it would be obvious. That would look suspicious. It would look sus. And they can't have that.
It could be that he was trying to avoid meeting up with his associate face to face. As one of the sole survivors of the Lefebvre family, maybe he was just used to that sort of elusive lifestyle.
Maybe, that would make
It
sense.
seems like Pierre deliberately chose the floating barrel method so that the goods could be dropped off and picked up at separate times. That way, the two parties wouldn't have to meet each other.
Well, if that's the case, they must not have a very close working relationship.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. It's possible they were just trying to keep a low profile.
That also
Two boats
works.
sailing to the same location at once could be too conspicuous.
That's
The
true.
most important thing is that we can now confirm Pierre wasn't acting alone. The floating barrel drop-off system is proof enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say for now that he was only in charge of producing the imitation synth. That would mean there has to be at
Okay.
least one other person involved in the operation, likely in charge of transporting the goods across the border.
Okay. That explains why we couldn't find evidence linking him to any overseas operations.
Since we've determined that the goods were transported by boat, maybe we can track down some travel logs or something.
We can certainly check the various ports for that information.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, however, that Pierre's associate also used a small boat for the transport, and docked along the shore rather than at a large port.
That would also make
If that's
sense.
the case, it's unlikely there would be any record left behind.
Have you looked into the ports yet already?
Absolutely. Before Pierre
would make
disappeared,
sense.
we made sure to investigate all sorts of outward bound vessels. We also had port authorities keep a lookout for anything suspicious. Unfortunately, we were never able to find out how they managed to get the imitation synth across the border.
Small boat, a few barrels isn't. Small boat and a few barrels isn't going to get you very far.
You're right. Whatever vessel was used for the pickup, the person responsible for smuggling the substance out of Fontaine would have had to use a larger vessel for the actual transport. That's the only way they would be able to smuggle on a large enough scale to make a profit.
Yeah.
They must have found a way to disguise the imitation synth to clear port inspections.
Well, if we can't find any travel logs, we can still search for other clues.
Exactly. We can't let any opportunities slip through the cracks.
My throat is getting
Although,
sore.
given the amount of ports that could be involved, we should probably split up.
I'll run
Probably.
home and ask some of my brothers and sisters to try and dig up some information.
I should also head back and update my platoon on our progress. I'll grab some reinforcements while I'm at it.
Okie
Lynette,
dokie.
Traveler,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you head to Lumidoose Harbor and see what you can find out?
Okie dokie.
All right. Come on, Bonnie. You too.
Yeah, I know, Bonnie. Let's go. Okay. Where is the harbor? Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, that's the harbor. Okay. I wonder if that leads back to, like... Because where is that on the map? Okay, I'm guessing that there's a little bit more of either leeway and or Mondstadt, like, over here. So I'm guessing this is a port between that. That would make sense. Lone man stands on top.
Oh, Lynette, Traveler. And Bonnie, too.
Don't
What
sound too
brings you all
excited.
here?
Did something happen?
I love her already. We're here to check the travel logs. You update them on the situation.
Oh. I see. Thank you for everything you're doing for the people of Fontaine.
What are you doing here?
I'm in charge of guarding the port. You mentioned you were after
I
some
think it's
travel
her.
logs, right? I can go fetch those for you.
I feel like it's her.
Looks like I've got another hard day of work ahead of me.
Oh, don't worry. Are things usually pretty hectic around here?
No, not usually. It's this incident that happened recently. Before that, everything was normal. All we had to do was confiscate anything suspicious and we could call it a day. Pretty simple stuff. But things are much more complicated now. We somehow let suspicious cargo pass through the port undetected.
Oh.
Not even our guard poodles were able to sniff it out. Even worse, we still don't know how the perpetrator was able to conceal the goods so well.
That's definitely linked to us.
By suspicious cargo, do you mean imitation synth?
Yep. However, prohibited substances are just one example. We confiscate all sorts of contraband during the course of our inspections.
Yes, however...
Or at least, we're supposed to.
So what happens to the goods you confiscate?
Oh, we keep them in a storage locker. If they turn out to be something particularly dubious, we'll turn them over to the Maison Orderly. If the goods are only slightly suspicious but could otherwise be harmless, like raw materials that could potentially be used to create contraband, we return them to the ship they were confiscated from, instead of letting them pass through the port.
Sorry for the wait.
I still feel like
These
it's
are the
her.
travel
I
logs
feel like
for all
she
the
helped him
recent activity
somehow.
at the port.
Woof woof. That's
Oh,
Gerard.
You brought Gerard with you.
Or Gerard.
Actually,
Gerard, the guard
he
dog.
followed me here himself.
Aww.
It's like he smells something on me.
I think he does.
Huh. I wonder why Gerard is reacting to you two so strongly.
Could be because we just left the place where imitation synth was made.
Huh? We were so careful not to touch it, but we still ended up with traces on us. If it leaves a residue so easily, I just don't understand how the culprit was able to disguise
Yeah,
the
that's
goods at
even
all.
more confusing.
Why don't you have a look at the travel logs first? All ships coming in and out of the port are recorded here,
Okay.
except for the ones the port authorities ride to and from work.
Okie dokie. You'll flip through the numerous pages and notice the Humane Society is listed. The name really seems to stand out. Why is the Humane Society being listed? Why are they traveling?
The Humane Society.
We've encountered that organization before, right? It was him? Wait, is he Pierre? Oh, interesting. Okay, what a turn of events.
Their name is all over the exit logs. The purpose for leaving is always listed as overseas adoption.
Ah, the director of the organization explained that actually. He said a lot of the cat and dog breeds unique to Fontaine are also very popular overseas. So his organization offers an overseas adoption program.
Okay.
Bernard, the director of the Humane Society, was the man who came looking for Bonnie earlier.
Pet, pet. That cat fled from Pierre looks like... The cat that fled from Pierre looks just like the cat that the Humane Society is looking for. Could that really be a coincidence? No, I don't think it is. It seemed as if Bernard was also hiding something. He seems so insistent, but only ran a cursory check before just leaving like that. When he came looking for Bonnie earlier, what if he wasn't actually there to check if Bonnie was his missing cat? Maybe he was there for some other purpose.
Have you figured it out too, Traveler? The way the criminal disguised the goods? When Bernard asked to take a closer look at Bonnie, he was
It's the
actually
bow.
checking whether there was any imitation synth in her stomach.
In her stomach? He was using animals as his shelter. What? Okay, now we need to go get this man.
Wait, what?
The sealed bags we found at the secret base. They were specially made to be corrosion resistant.
So that they wouldn't be digested. Oh my god. What?
There were gaps around the lids of the barrels, and airbags were used to keep them upright in the water.
So that the animals would be able to breathe.
Those drug shovers found at the secret base. She most likely didn't recognize them because they're not used on human beings. It's an anesthetic used on pets. The perpetrator must have given it to the animals.
I don't... What? This took such a drastic turn. What? So that they would keep it in the floating barrels.
Pierre must have made the animals swallow the sealed bags full of imitation synth at his secret base. Then he stuffed them into floating barrels and left the rest to Bernard.
The sealed bags combined with an animal's body odor would certainly be enough to mask the scent of imitation synth.
During our inspections, we would have never thought to inspect the bellies of those animals for anything suspicious. Even if we tried to feel around for something, I'm sure it would be difficult to detect.
Not to mention, why would you do that to an animal? Like, I get that you, like, want to get this drug out and out of here. Why would you do that to an animal? That is not a good, okay. I have strong feelings about this.
Exactly. I bet Bernard even transported animals with synth in their stomach alongside ones without. That way, it would be even harder to say with certainty that something was amiss.
Exactly. I hate that. Do you think Bonnie could have imitation synth in her stomach?
She's probably in the clear. Otherwise, Bernard would have never left without her. I'm guessing he didn't know whether Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth before he fled. Just imagine. He sees the notice we put in the Steambird, and it turns out that one of the very cats he gave to Pierre for the smuggling operation is out in the open, roaming the streets of Fontaine. If Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth, then Bonnie would practically be living proof of their crimes.
Yeah.
He would have had no choice but to go after her.
So, that's why he came to find you and insisted on taking a closer look at the cat.
Pierre must have fled in a hurry. That fact that is probably is what spared Bonnie.
Wait a second, I'm a little lost here. I get the part about hiding the substance in the pets, but those, what did you call them again? Floating barrels? Why even put the animals in there in the first place?
So they wouldn't be
If
noticed.
you've got something as convenient as a floating barrel, why not just stuff it with the imitation synth directly? Why not wait to hide the stuff until after the exchange has been
Because
made?
people would be able to smell
In order
it
to
and
make
notice.
sure the animals could swallow the sealed bags, they made them extremely thin. Had they not done that, the animals would have likely bitten or chewed through them.
And if any imitation... Well, I guess now we're... do we wait? I don't know. I'm on a roll now. I'm gonna keep going. Sorry, viewers. I love you. I love you very much. Holy shit, it's been an hour and a half already. If any imitation synth leaked out, they could also have needed a lot of cleaning agent to get rid of the resulting smell. We'll probably end up waiting for ads anyways. I'm trying to process this shit. I'm trying to process that this is what is happening at the moment. Why? Did you really just want to prove how despicable these people were, Hoyoverse? Did you really just want to show, like, hey, these people, oh yeah, they're bad. Because, like, you're winning. You're winning. What the fuck? I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I just don't want the cats to be hurt. I don't want the pets to be hurt. That's so mean. Also, welcome back, ad viewers. They would also have needed a lot of cleaning agents to get rid of this resulting smell.
That step would have required a lot of energy, as well as a certain amount of technical expertise. So, it was better left to the more experienced Pierre. We've already proven how easy it is to pick up trace amounts of imitation synth, so I'm sure Bernard was taking all the precautions he could to avoid the same fate.
Woof woof. Pet pet.
Okay. Then, let's head to the Humane Society right away and bring that guy to justice. I'll bring a Gardamek to speed up the process.
That... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I feel like... what do I say? What? I feel like my brain just kind of exploded, and what just happened? Like, what just happened?
The headquarters of the Humane Society should be somewhere around here. Bernard could show up any moment now.
Ah, you're the people from earlier. Wait, you're from the guards?
Mm-hmm.
After him! We can't let him get away!
Oh, I have to... There we go.
Give it up, Bernard.
Mercy. Have mercy. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything I know.
Good.
The Humane Society has done so much good over the years, and yet you have committed such an atrocious deed in its name.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I didn't have a choice, okay? My father cared about those blasted animals so much, he didn't bother to take care of his human wife and son at all. While those animals were showered with love, I lived worse than a dog.
No one asked. Tell me, how did you first get to know
Bro
Pierre?
really hit them with the
Well,
fucking ass.
After I took over the Humane Society, it gradually became harder and harder to maintain its operations. Until one day, someone suddenly passed me a letter.
Oh?
It said that I could stand to get a large sum of money as long as I helped them to transport some animals abroad. It was only after a few such transports that I finally understood what I was really transporting. But then, Pierre wrote to me, saying that we were already partners in crime and that I better keep cooperating with him if I didn't want to be reported to the guards.
Insight check. There was a hint of dishonesty in his trembling voice. He's lying.
You knew it from the very beginning, didn't you? The reason why you had to go through so many steps just to
And the
transport
way to get
some
back
animals.
at the animals for
I'd suggest
more
that you
precious.
confess everything right now if you don't want to add anything else to your list of crimes.
Yes, officer.
Interesting.
I would order wooden barrels and flotation devices according to his instructions, and then load the sleeping animals onto a boat. Once I sailed to the location he provided, I would dump everything together into the sea. And a few days after that,
Waiting for another
I'd
insight
come by
check.
again in my boat and pick up the animals sleeping in the barrels. Once I had received enough of them, I'd bring them to the harbor to be adopted abroad. That guy, Pierre, he was running the entire show. He set up all the meeting times and found all the foreign adopters. Oh, and he even supplied all of the goods, too. I just did the transport. He was the one who planned out and executed everything else.
So where is he now?
Look, I don't know, okay? I've never ever met him in person. We've only ever communicated through letters.
Lies.
And when did he send his final letter to you?
Just last night, he said that the Marechaussee Phantom is now after him, so he's planning to go into hiding for some time. He didn't mention where he's thinking about going, though, but he did tell me to look out for the guards.
It's been a few days since Pierre's last appearance. I'd wager that he sent that letter after he found his hiding spot.
So where is that letter now?
I burned them.
You
It was on
burned?
his orders. I had to burn every letter after reading them. I wasn't even allowed to share them with the rest of the Society employees.
Sure sounds like you're trying to use the lack of witnesses or evidence to pin the blame on Pierre.
Well,
No,
yeah, that's exactly
I
what's
swear,
happening.
this time I'm only telling you the truth.
Fucking
Well,
liar.
we can check the truth of your statements at the Opera House. I hope you know what'll be coming for you if I were to find any discrepancy between the evidence and the testimony you just gave.
I know, I swear I was just telling the truth.
My thanks to you both. Had it not been for you, I really don't know what would have happened to this case.
Bonnie helped, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It was all thanks to her that Bernard was finally exposed.
That's true. Good Bonnie. Pat, pat. Bonnie suddenly runs and hides behind.
And it looks like she's grown quite fond of you two as well.
Aww.
Then I'll leave you be. Just let me know if you find any other new leads.
What? Next expression is a bit unnatural. It seems like still has something on her mind. Attempt to close the case. Annette, what's wrong? What's wrong? Something on your mind still?
It was that obvious, huh? Well, even though it didn't feel like Bernard was lying, after talking to him, I'm getting an even stronger sense that something's not quite right. We investigated so quickly that perhaps we've missed a thing or two along the way.
I think
Let me activate
I think
deduction
Pierre
mode
is
and
Bernard.
consider things again from the top to see if we can find anything new. Is there still anything unresolved or strange that we should try to consider?
What about what we found in Poisson? Bernard's letters? There is an unexplained part in the operations of this trafficking ring. Yeah, how would he get the animals to like, no, that's explained. How would he get the animals then? Because if Pierre already had the animals, how would he get them? Would he just go pick up random strays on the street? Or would he go to the Humane Society and actually grab them like that?
Well, we've discovered that Bernard is responsible for the trafficking, while Pierre deals with supplying the goods.
I don't know if I
Is there
fully believe
something
that.
else in the scheme that we're missing?
They always communicated in writing, and all of those letters have been burned, so we can no longer trace anything. According to Chivalrous' investigations, Pierre has been formally reprimanded for his synth-related research, and can no longer get any materials from the research of the institution. Connections. Any past member of the first family could have a number of connections outside of Fontaine. Ledger. Bernard can be compensated for his work after completing a shipment. No suspicious record could be left as long as he receives funds as an individual, rather than through the Humane Society. We've already proven that Bernard and Pierre coordinated their handoffs by passing floating barrels to each other. Then the letter thing doesn't make sense then, because I guess they would. How did he get the ingredients?
Yeah, according to Bernard, Pierre also supplied all of the goods. But if the Marechaussee Phantom's records are correct, Pierre should have lost all access to the materials required to create the imitation synth. And the Institute has also not reported any theft of their stocks. Bernard claims
letters.
to have received a letter last night from Pierre. In the letter, Pierre stated that he had gone into hiding. Is there something wrong with the letter?
Escape location. The letter didn't mention Pierre's hiding spot, although it makes sense that Pierre wouldn't want anyone to find him. The letter's delivery method. Regardless of whether he sent it anonymously or secretly delivered it himself, it's no longer something we can follow up on. Lost cat, Bonnie. Bonnie had already been on the loose a few days. Bonnie had already been on the loose for a few days when we found her yesterday morning. That means she had already broken free when the letter was written. The letter's purpose. If the point of the letter was to tell Bernard to get on his guard, then why didn't it also warn him about Bonnie? Because they didn't know about Bonnie. Because what if Bonnie was already there?
If Bonnie had imitation synth in her body, then she was a liability that had to be recovered at all costs. But if she wasn't carrying anything, then it would have made sense to tell Bernard not to worry.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, Bernard only attracted our attention in the first place because he came to look for Bonnie. Could it be that the person who wrote the letter also knew nothing about Bonnie's whereabouts?
That would make sense.
Or they had a separate goal entirely.
What about what we found in Poisson? We didn't even go to
The
Poisson.
Marechaussee Phantom found Bonnie and the Lefebvre pendant at Pierre's residence. That was the beginning point of our investigation.
Paige is very snuggly. Okay, see. The pet handoff. According to Bernard, the trafficked animals taken directly to were taken directly to Pierre's base, rather than Poisson. The Luffier family is famous in Fontaine. Even their innocent citizens became targets of revenge. But Pierre just carried the pendant with him as if it was an ordinary piece of jewelry. That's going to be connected to the pendant. The pattern on the pendant is proof that its owner is an illegitimate child of the Lefebvre family. I can pronounce that, I promise. But this shouldn't be at all. Bonnie has been with Pierre ever since the first meeting between Pierre and the Phantom. And that's why Edelie came looking for her. But that shouldn't be all. Initial suspicions. Intentional suspicions. Pierre became the key suspect in the case of a suspicious cat and a suspicious pendant. That is really weird.
Why would he leave such an obvious trail for us to follow?
Yeah.
When he took so much care to not leave any traces of imitation synth in
Maybe
his
he's
home.
trying to get Bernard
The
blamed.
final question is,
I don't believe that he...
why did I sense that something wasn't right after hearing Bernard's testimony?
I think Bernard is Pierre.
Even more so than before.
They mentioned earlier how, Pierre could easily be anyone in Fontaine. Like, he can easily switch identities because he's just used to doing that. I wonder if Bernard is Pierre, and we're about to find out. Both written letters and handoffs using floating barrels are methods of communication that can be intercepted. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to do that one before I do this. Pierre made such a complicated preparation plans, yet also exposed himself so easily to the investigating guards. That doesn't make sense. Okay. I not any idea why. Okay, we're gonna do this one. The accomplice that was never met. Bernard was never met Pierre in person. Does Pierre have multiple personalities? It also feels like the plan and the expose were done by two separate individuals. Pierre was set up. There's still a third person out there. Even Bernard himself knew that it wasn't Pierre that had been pulling the strings all along. It was someone else. There's another person.
Deductive mode deactivated. I think we may be close to the actual answer.
I still think it's the girl. But because neither of them knew...
Now behave, and follow me to the interrogation
Because neither of them
room.
knew.
Ow! That hurt. Ow!
Contemplation. We're about to leave. They're about to leave. Is it really okay to let them go? Okay. Oh, it's a 20. Oh. I guess we're going with this one. Oh, no! Oh, 22. Never mind! No. We can't let her get away. Hold it right there.
Is there something else you need from me, traveler?
Bernard and Pierre. They weren't really acting alone, were they? It is? It's both of them? Interesting, okay.
Huh?
I see. It all makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look, even our confessed criminal here has no idea what you're saying.
Nope.
Because he has been kept in the dark all along. And I assume it's the same with Pierre.
Bernard thought that he was communicating with Pierre, and Pierre thought he was taking orders from Bernard. But it was her doing all along. For all this time, neither of them knew. There was a third person all along. And it was
That
her.
never quite added up for me. Why did Pierre feel compelled to return to his home with Bonnie and Dependent and make them so easy to find for the Marechaussee Phantom?
Any animals Pierre received from the floating barrels could have been taken directly to his base. And considering his precarious situation, the pendant should have been the last thing Pierre would be leaving.
Both of these things are in stark contrast to his usual meticulous and vigilant behavior. There's only one reasonable explanation. He was following orders, just like Bernard. He probably received the following instructions right before the Phantom came knocking on his door. Bring the cat and the pendant, and our undercover agent will be sure to help you. Unbeknownst to him, however, the third person who wrote that letter to him had long decided to sacrifice him and Bernard to save themselves.
They instructed the two men to communicate through letters, and barrels specifically so that they never get to meet each other. Honestly, this third person probably planned to sell both of them out from the very beginning.
What? You can't be serious. There was a third person involved?
If you focus only on Bernard's testimony, it's easy to believe that only Bernard and Pierre were working together. The case appeared extremely simple. Bernard did the trafficking, Pierre the imitation synth production, drugging, and stuffing.
With everything accounted for, the third person would have been cleared of all suspicion.
Wait. But that doesn't make any sense. If that's the actual truth, then as soon as Pierre is caught, he'll explain his side of the story and the third person will...
Yep, which is why the third person made sure that Pierre would never be found again. Once they had instructed Pierre to expose himself, the third person wrote to Pierre again, suggesting that everything had been taken care of, and he should take Bonnie and safely return to his base.
They ambushed Pierre, and made him, quote-unquote, disappear.
Of course, Pierre's disappearance at such a sensitive time immediately made him a prime suspect. Knowing that Bonnie had last been seen with him, all the third person would have to do from that point on would be to lead the Phantom to investigate the Humane Society and get Bernard to confess the truth.
Bernard would have then testified that Pierre was the one who came up with the whole plot, and Pierre would have been seen as having gone into hiding in anticipation of getting caught.
Wait. So
I
you're
think
saying
my brain was
that
trying
the
to...
letter I received yesterday, the one that made me think Pierre was still alive, it was also sent by the third person?
Is that what happened? I'll get back to headquarters right away and reinvestigate this case from the top.
Not so fast.
Chevra said that assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. Someone among us, however, has been feeding us all kinds of preconceived notions ever since our first meeting. They suggested that Pierre's disappearance was an attempt to escape the judgment of the law, and that Pierre was a scion of the Lefebvre family. But if the disappearance is truly just a cover-up for a murder, then couldn't the true scion have been an illegitimate daughter, rather than an illegitimate son?
Miss Elodie Lefebvre?
Huh?
Haven't you taken this joke a bit too far? You're right. I did let a lot of assumptions get to my head when I first started to talk to you about the case. I'll make sure to correct my behavior.
You deliberately fed us lies.
Exactly.
But even you
It's
could
like,
not
what?
control
She
every
gave us
last
so much
detail of your
information at the
plan.
start of the case.
There was a flaw in your scheme, and something didn't quite go as planned.
We
Getting the
investigated.
Marechaussee Phantom to notice Pierre was only the first part of your plan. Had they failed to take notice of the Humane Society, they could have cast a wider net. And you couldn't predict what they might possibly find, if given enough time. This, of course, was the main weakness of your plan.
And once the Special Patrol and Lenny got involved, it became even harder to control the outcome of the investigation.
As someone accustomed to acting from behind the scenes, you didn't want to take the risk of personally proposing a raid on the Humane Society. So, you thought about pulling a few more strings, so all the suspicion would point towards Bernard and his society.
A great option, of course, would be to also dispose of Bonnie and leave her body at Pierre's base in anticipation of a later discovery.
Once the Phantom expanded their search, it would only be a matter of time before they found Pierre's base. If a cat last seen with the suspect turned up dead at the imitation synth base, it wouldn't be long until the Phantom would figure out exactly how she had
I
been
love that I
mistreated
called it, by the
and
way.
turn their eyes towards the one organization that has been sending boatloads of animals out of Fontaine.
However, something unexpected happened at the base. Bonnie managed to escape the chaos.
It was probably during your ambush of Pierre. You didn't even have the time to check if she had already been stuffed full of imitation synth.
Oh, Bonnie.
Still, you soon found another opportunity. Before long, Bonnie had made her way back into the city, and even popped up on the Steambird. Like Bernard, you desperately wanted to confirm the contents of her stomach, so you hurried to find us. Unlike Bernard, however, you were hoping that Pierre did have the time to make her swallow a load of imitation synth. While investigating the suspect's cat, we unexpectedly discovered that the suspect has been smuggling imitation synth using living animals as intermediaries. That was your plan, in any case. With that, you'd have been able to lead the investigation towards the Humane Society.
But Bonnie was very lucky.
Bonnie had managed to escape before Pierre was able to stuff her full of imitation synth. That part of your plan could no longer be carried out. But as shrewd as you were, you came up with another plan right away. You manipulated the Traveler and I to help you identify Bernard as a key suspect.
Mm-hmm. You knew Linny was investigating the case with Chevreuse. And you also knew that Linny's previous encounter with the Louveris family.
You used the Lefebvre name as bait to get us to join your investigation. With 2 extra bodies around, the Special Patrol is sure to soon take note of the strange event of Bernard somehow having a reason to look for Pierre's cat.
So, what you're saying is, I went to all that trouble just for the chance that you might put forth the suggestion that would lead you down the wrong path.
Yes.
Of course, you did far more than that. Just now at Lumidu's harbor, were you not the person who highlighted the suspicious activities of the Society?
By showing us the port's travel logs?
Ugh.
You even highlighted the Society's activities during your compilation of the logs, so they'd be immediately visible to anyone examining the records.
She made sure to highlight them in a
Moreover, the
bright
logs
yellow
contained
highlighter
no
so they
records of the
could
Port
stand
Authority's
out.
activities. In other words, your activities.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you trying to suggest with that?
What do you
I am
think?
insinuating that you had plenty of opportunities to transfer the raw materials for imitation synth from the harbor to a boat, and then sail over to the meeting place full of floating barrels.
Once Bernard had placed the animals in the barrels, you'd open the lids and also dump in the raw materials. As long as you did it before Pierre came for his pickup, there'd be no one the wiser.
And that's how neither the trafficker nor the manufacturer knew there was a third person who supplied the raw materials, and surreptitiously operated between them.
First, you got in touch with both parties and secured the raw materials. Then you instructed Bernard to prepare the floating animals in the barrel. After that, you slipped the raw materials into the barrels next to the animals, and requested that Pierre pick up the barrels and bring them back to his base.
Pierre manufactured imitation synth using the raw materials you
I
provided.
love that they called this, by the way.
Stuffed the animals.
From the
and
start of
placed
this,
the
I was like,
animals back
I don't
into the
like her.
barrels. Having received the green light from you as Pierre, Bernard then retrieved his animals and shipped them out of Fontaine once he had received enough for a full batch. This is the truth behind your smuggling ring.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it. I never put 2 and 2 together.
You've sure got an extremely lively imagination.
So
You're very
what do you
aggressive
think she's
about
going
that.
to say next?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels? But do you have any evidence?
But do you have any evidence?
It appears that it's quite easy to predict what you'll think or say. Then if we apply that to this case, we can also think of a few places to look for incriminating evidence. You know very well that this case will not end until Pierre is found.
Mm-hmm.
So you will have him commit suicide out of fear and shame to end the investigation for good.
Yep.
That way, you can also pin the blame for the overseas smuggling activities, the theft of the harbor's confiscated raw materials, and even the Lefebvre name on him. After all, dead men tell no tales.
Pirates of the
But you
Caribbean?
still want it to appear as if he had sent that last letter to Bernard, so you have to make sure he cannot be found until after Bernard
That
has
is the
confessed
best
to the
goddamn
authorities.
pirate you'll ever
To do
see.
that, you either will hide his body until you found an appropriate time
I was
to set
following
up a
along
fake
until I got to
suicide
this.
scene, or you'll dump it someplace where it'll be hard to determine the exact time of death. Submerged in water, for instance. The location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time while also letting you keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm. You could also keep him in a very cool environment to be handled later. An example of such a place would be somewhere in your boat. Or set a fire to make it look like he had burned himself to a crisp. Or underneath the water, waters near Being harbor. Location ideally that would allow you to... Okay. Cool environment, burnt to crisp. Burnt to crisp. Maybe somewhere in your own boat. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was the letters. I feel like underneath the waters would make sense, but no, it wouldn't really. She wouldn't keep it in her own boat because that would be... She would incriminate herself. But also keep him in a very cool environment. Burnt turquoise. I feel like this one, because then... Because that would be the incident, would it not?
There are only so many options to hide a person's time of death, after all. As long as the Phantom investigates each of the possibilities in turn, they'll surely find Pierre's remains. Especially since, as the prime suspect who will now be taken into custody, you will no longer have the time to move him, or set up a fake suicide scene to cover up the murder.
How absurd. And on what grounds will you order my arrest? Don't think for a second that your spouts of nonsense will amount to any kind of real argument. After all, I'm...
Elodie Lefebvre! As the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, I hereby declare you as a suspect in the case. If you have any objections, you may raise them later during interrogation.
Chevreuse! Lenny, you're here too!
That's right. We received a message from Lumiduce Harbor that you were going to investigate the Humane Society. We didn't expect to run into you at such a critical moment.
Found it.
While at the harbor, we noticed something else extremely interesting. Apparently, you often used all kinds of excuses to swap your shifts. And if one were to match the times of your shifts to the activities of the Humane Society and those of certain foreign ships, they'd find them to be an exact match.
Interesting.
That's just a coincidence.
Yes, I'm sure you have already thought of a dozen different ways to explain away the suspicious activities, but as far as evidence goes, that should be enough to warrant taking you into custody.
Don't worry. If it turns out that the guards are still unable to find any evidence after all this, Lynette and I will do everything in our power to clear your name.
Although judging by her reaction, I assume no follow-up from us will be needed.
The Lefebvres were infamous for using disguise and infiltration to achieve their goals. Who would have thought that they would have planted someone within the guards?
Makes sense why they would. Why wouldn't people suspect that?
They likely arranged for you to enter the guards before the fall of the clan. But they probably didn't expect you to turn it to your advantage and use your job to save yourself during the purge.
Not only that, but you actively participated in the interrogation, arrest, and judgment of the Lefebvres during their fall, thus clearing yourself of suspicion. You brutally and cruelly abandoned your allies as soon as they outlived their usefulness, just like a lizard cutting off its own tail in order to live. You've been doing this for years.
So you played me like a fool after all?
Bernard is suddenly knocked out by a sudden strike.
What was that word you used? Ally? You think that someone as foolish as him is worthy to call himself my ally? They were worthless scum, all of them. Not just Bernard and Pierre, but those Lefebvres too.
Oh my god, girl!
They just saw me as a tool.
Damn!
I lost all my chances of a normal life just because I was born into their lot. Not only that, but because they wanted me to become an undercover agent, they stripped me of my name, too.
Shit!
I had to live in constant fear of them while they were alive. And even once they were gone, I had to continue to bury my heritage and my name. Always worrying that their enemies would come knocking at the door. Do you know anything about what I've been through over all these years? My life as the last Lefebvre?
Damn. Fake check. Spot seems a bit unnatural. There's a hint of drama in the voice of this suddenly agitated Elodie. It feels like her anger may be part of some kind of bluff.
I don't, and neither do I care.
No one asks about your past.
Are you for real? Aren't you a laissez-faire victim too?
Fuck you, bitch. Wow. Okay. Jeez. She wants to be playing with fucking fire.
Elodie, you're the only one still living under the shadow of a name.
That's enough. Keep your hands where I can see them and do not resist arrest. If you have more to say, save it for the interrogation room.
What a joke. What a joke! Hey!
Don't come any closer. She's got a bomb. Why did she have a bomb?
Don't come any closer.
What's that?
Know what this is?
But it
I've
looks
secretly
so
planted loads of
terribly made.
explosives in the Humane Society. Just one step closer and... whether they're cats, dogs, or just unlucky human employees.
What the fuck?
They'll all be blown up into smithereens. Surely, you bunch of goody two-shoes won't let that happen, right?
Deception, stealth, precision, intimidation. Okay. So I can either assist Lenny in deceiving Elodie's. I can launch a sneak attack on... I don't think the sneak attack would help very much. The intimidation. Persuasion. Try to convince Elodie to surrender. I don't think she's going to surrender. I think if she's distracted for long enough... I'm gonna assist Lenny. 15. I'm going this one. What the fuck? Uh-oh. Surely a bunch of goody two-shoes won't... Okay. Whoa, just calm down there for a minute.
That's enough! I have nothing left to say to any of you! Gardamex, get him!
Ah!
Not
Tell
good.
it.
She's trying to escape. We need to end this fight as soon as possible.
Yeah, Gardamegs aren't my specialty, lady. I'm trying. I can try. But I'm not gonna promise you shit. Gardamegs aren't really great for when I attack. They're not.
Rise.
I'll protect her.
Okay, where did she go? Where'd she go?
Busted so quickly, huh? Good thing I've already bought enough time to escape.
Why are you here? Lenny? As Elodie begins to believe she may finally... Oh, was it you, buddy? Aw.
Phew. So I was right after all. It's easier to deal with the person causing the problem than the problem itself.
And what about the device she had? It was a bluff. It looked like it was made out of cardboard.
This is it. Looks like it's just a toy.
So she really was just bluffing.
Guess that's probably why she suddenly flipped and knocked out Bernard. He probably knew that there were no explosives at the society.
She also pretended like she had a villainous breakdown, as if she had no choice but to kill to escape her life.
Well, given that she never even showed her face to Bernard and Pierre, I had my doubts that she'd have gone to the society in person to plant explosives.
Thank you for your help, everyone. I'll take them back for thorough questioning and find someone better to take over the Humane Society. I might need a few statements from everybody. Would you be able to come with me?
Sure.
If statements are all you need, can Lenny provide them on my behalf? I still need to go back and explain some things to the crew. I also had an appointment with the Traveler before we got interrupted.
Oh, did we? Contemplation? What did she say again? Oh, seems like I already forgot. You mean... when you said I could stop by your place?
Ah, so you do remember. Yes, I invited you to come over to our place. Once I'm done talking with the
We got
troop,
this all done in a
I'll make a
day,
nice cup
according
of tea
to
and bring
the
Bonnie to
technical
wait for you
timeline
outside
stuff.
of my door.
What? Oh. Gato.
Lynette must have spent a record-breaking amount of time in serious mode today.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last time I've seen her like that. Could it be because of a special someone?
Are you trying to flirt with me? There's still a few things I'm curious about. How did Pierre get recruited into the scheme?
Based on information that we found before, imitation synth
Yeah,
was
I'm
first
guessing he was
circulated on
bribed
a
by
small
getting
scale in Fontaine
or
before becoming
receiving
a
synth in
large-scale
order to
smuggling
get,
scheme. I'd
or
assume that the
receiving
first offerings of
materials for
imitation
free
synth came
in
from
order
what
to keep this
Pierre
going.
made in his early days. But since he was not experienced with running a clandestine operation, he was soon discovered by guard Elodie. Elodie saw the opportunity to make a great profit in his work, and perhaps even the chance of making a new life for herself, so she decided to cover his tracks. She started writing to him in Bernard's name, using what evidence she had compiled and the promise of enormous profits to blackmail him into cooperating with her. Unfortunately for her, she ran into Lynette. Even though my sister doesn't like to focus too much on a regular day, serious mode Lynette is one of the most perceptive people I've ever known. Still, all of that thinking really saps her energy. I need to go give some statements on her behalf, so I'll leave the recharging to you.
Okie dokie. Well, let's go hang out with Lynette. Let's go hang out with Lynette. Let's go get some tea with Lynette. I always forget how long these hangout quests are at first. Hello. Hello, gatos.
Black tea and a cute kitty. Truly the best combo for standby mode.
Aww.
Want some?
A cup of tea, please.
Mm-hmm. I hope you'll like it.
About Elodie's case, are you not interested in any follow-up developments from it?
Not at all. Information is indeed very important, but if you were to try to collect every piece of information you come across, your efficiency would actually decrease. Plus, if you just think about it, what sounds more fun? Writing a statement or enjoying a tea party?
A cute kitty.
Great answer. That'd be my pick too. Had we not run into that case, we could have spent the entire day like this. But now, I'm running low on both time and energy.
The key isn't how you spend your how long you spend in standby mode. Standby? Standby. Yep, standby. Yep, standby mode. With quality time, you should be able to recharge more quickly.
You're right. I can sense it. I'm recharging very quickly at the moment.
I still have a question though. When did you start to suspect Elodie? I suspected her from the fucking start. I was like, she's part of something here. Whatever it is, she's the fucking culprit. So, the fact that the Traveler didn't pick that up, I don't know. I don't know what that says about me.
Something about her rubbed me the wrong way since the very beginning. But to be more precise, it was probably around the time when I saw Bonnie try to get away from her.
Back then, Elodie tried to get close to Bonnie.
Elodie tried to get close, but Bonnie deliberately dodged her. Maybe Bonnie had tried to evade her before at Pierre's base. Or perhaps Bonnie just instinctively knew that she wasn't a good person. Not everyone who likes cats is a good person. But if cats like you, you're probably alright.
Fair enough.
Humans tend to overthink things, but cats rely on their instincts, and they're pretty sharp. I mean, just look at Bonnie.
I mean, that
she
is
took a
true.
liking to you the moment you met.
I mean, that is weirdly true. I have had cats. I have had people who come over to my house and like the nicest cat. Maka loves to be friends with everyone, so whenever somebody comes over, he's like all over them. He wants to be friends. He's like, oh my god, I will not leave your side. You are my friend. And then there's I've only seen this happen to like one person. But the person that came in, Maka, the friendliest cat who wants to be friends with everyone, didn't go and greet them. Maka didn't even like really do anything. He just kind of sat there and watched them. Which was really out of character for him and was really weird and weirded us all out. So it was... Cats know. That guy also ended up... Or that person also ended up being a pretty not a pretty great person. So Maka was right. Cats know. It's weird. Cats know. Animals know. They know. Aww. I don't know why I saved that. Aww. Why is there a special event? I don't know what the special event is. It's also aww. How many things did we get from it? Oh, there's an ending right here. And after persuading, okay. Before the case is broken, the situation seems changed. Okay. I have a feeling I know what this is. And attack! Okay, so
now behave.
We're going
and
into
follow
this
me to
without
the
any of the
interrogation room.
information or discussing anything
That
with...
hurt. Ow!
Yeah. Boop. Yep, there we go. Figured. We can leave Bernard's interrogation to the guards.
Is everything really over? I still feel like the relationship between Pierre and Bernard is not as simple as it appears.
We can leave Bernard's interrogation to the guards. Let's first rescue the animals at the Humane Society.
Also, I've had this strange sense that something's off the entire time we've been on the case. And it has only gotten worse.
Oh.
Ugh. No good. I've still got nothing.
Oh
and
no!
I'm nearly out of energy.
Don't force yourself. Just leave it to Linny and the other. Don't force yourself. Just leave it to Linny and the others.
All right. I'll stop thinking about it for now. At the very least, we've made it so that no more animals will suffer like those poor animals did. And that's what I hope.
Me too. Oh, Bonnie.
Let's go to the Humane Society and see if there are any animals left that might still need our help.
Okie dokie.
Before my energy for today completely runs out.
We got down to 2 hearts. Oh. Okay, well that was really easy. That was a really easy ending to get. I think with that, personally, I think I'm gonna end it there. We only have like 3 more to get. Seriously, the situation seems to have changed. Okay, why don't we actually get this last one, and then I'm gonna end there. Then I'm gonna end it there. just because I want to get a couple of the things done for the rest of the day. And there's a project that I need to be working on. Or specifically a gift, I guess, that I need to be working on.
Huh.
This
I
device.
didn't like that.
I love that they added the skip button. How about you do neither?
Huh?
If it was urgent, someone would come looking for you. That applies to both your troop and Bonnie's honor.
What you're saying is, since nobody's come looking,
Paige is snoring behind me.
I can just keep hanging out with Bonnie for a bit longer? Is that really okay?
Persuasion. Well, Bonnie sure seems like that's an idea. I think that's an idea. Let's go with this one. Fuck.
Maybe not. As much as I don't want to, I really should be getting back. Besides, if someone does come looking for me or Bonnie and finds me just chilling out with a cat, I feel like I'd have a lot of explaining to do.
Okay. So I'm guessing I failed that. Did fail that.
Alright.
Okay, so that just means I'm gonna have to do it again. What the fuck?!
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner? There's 20 cards in total. I should also mention, this time the put in perspective.
Alright, looks like we're looking for Bonnie's owner. Skip. No, we're doing that again. We're taking that again. We're getting this left. I hate that that's left a chance. This is left a chance. Why is this left a chance? Confirm. This is left a chance. I hate that. It can't be left a chance.
Huh. I didn't like that. Was I?
Okay. Why don't you do neither?
Huh?
If deserted,
What
someone
you're
come looking for you.
saying is, since nobody's come looking, I can just keep hanging out with Bonnie for a bit longer?
Yeah.
Is that really okay?
Persuasion. Okay. There we go. Got it. We fucking got it. I'm sorry if that was really loud.
You make a good point.
We can just stick around here for a while. So if anyone does come looking for us, they'll find you.
Okay, well, assuming Bonnie hasn't strayed too far from where she went missing, there's a chance we might bump
Oh,
into
she
her
strayed
owner in
far.
either the
She has
Steamboat
strayed.
offices or the
She is,
restaurant.
my girl has strayed
Stick
far.
around here in standby mode? Yeah, that suits me.
Shall we find some cat food?
Oh, good idea. Bonnie's definitely hungry.
If we're getting cat food, shall we get some snacks for us too?
May as well. We could be here a while.
Well, since we've got cat food and snacks, let's find a place to chill.
When I was trying to find somewhere I could space out earlier, collect my thoughts, I figured the cafe might be a good shot.
Apple. Pat.
Alright then. Plan of action? Spend the whole day spacing out. In standby mode.
Bruh, I'd space out too. There we go. Speed run. Just gave me a speed run achievement. Persuade Lynette to spend a leisurely, peaceful day with you. Hell yeah. Alright. Wow. People are messaging. Oh no, I'm worried. Alright. People are messaging me. I'm worried for not the reason that like someone's in danger. I'm worried for the reason that somebody's gonna do something. That somebody might be my partner and their sibling, and I'm a little concerned. Yeah, I'm concerned. Okay. I'm gonna end there. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna go. I don't know what's going on with them. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna figure out what the fuck is happening with my partner. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna end it here. Let's see. Let's see if there's anyone to raid. Hopefully we'll be able to finish, Lynette's hangout quest soon. Let's see. Ooh, Scott's Major is playing, Scott's Major is currently playing Minecraft with, oh, he's currently playing Minecraft on a fantasy SMP. Ooh, that sounds fun. Let's go raid him. We will raid him, because that sounds fun. That sounds like a fun time. Yeah, and with that, I hope you'll have a wonderful time zone, wherever it may be. And I will see you all in the next stream. Adios, amigos.